my God. Okay, the plant is getting me. I think I could maybe just do 6 minutes of me going, ah, in my best possible clown face. And collecting cheese off the table. Hello, it's Monday. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. I am frazzled. That is the appropriate word. I am torn between wanting to shout, laugh, and cry. I've done all of these things quite a lot in the last 48 hours. We filmed on Thursday. So this my head. This is what happens. This is what happens in the final week of a project. My head is like, there are 85,000 million things in my head all together. And they've all taken on different personas. So there's basically a party in there, and there's like the person who's like thinking about the logistical things and then giving them to my wonderful producer. And then there's the person who's like worrying about the content of the artistic material and knocking on my own head in my own many doors of my brain going, you forgot about this bit. What about that bit? You haven't put this bit in. Did you remember this bit? Then there's like the director in me, so there's director character like trying to look from the outside at everything and like, how's this bit and how's this looking and how do we think about this? And then there's me as the performer going, oh, ego meltdown. I don't know how I feel about that bit. Was that bit good enough? I'm not sure. I could have probably done that bit better. And they're all in there. They are all in there together. And then somewhere in there, there's like a normal human being who wants to remember to like eat food and watch a little bit of telly and go for walks, who's like trying to find some space and be like, sorry, everybody, I know you like making a theatre show, but could we also make some time for like some other life? And oh my goodness, this is why. This is why you have to be a particular kind of mad, and I'm using that with love and care and lightness, because there are connotations to that word that I don't agree with, so I'm tucking it out in a loving way. But this is why you have to be a certain kind of eccentric. Let's use that. That's a better word. A certain kind of eccentric and deliriously passionate about what you do in order to consciously choose to put yourself through this process over and over again every time you make something. Yeah. And I'm lucky that I am working with some amazing people who are very understanding, very tolerant, very loving, very open-hearted, very beautiful, and very on board with supporting me through this. And yeah, like, so we're basically now where we are is we did a load of filming on Thursday. And so the filming is for the online sharing of some of this work that's happening on Wednesday the 19th. And basically this is like, this is a live show. What this show is made for is being in a room with actual humans, all sitting in a circle in the round. It's designed to be performed in the round, and it's designed to be received by people. And the way that I perform, there's no fourth wall. I very much respond to a live audience, and that is my happy place as a performer. And obviously, we're in a COVID lockdown, so. And even though we're coming out of that, the theatres are not open in the way that they used to be, if at all, and that space to get 100 people in a room and sit them all around me and be able to perform to them and bounce back off that is not possible right now. So there are all these processes of taking something and then trying to work out, right, what do we do with this? So I committed to the Arts Council that I would share some of this process and some of this work with an online audience. And so we went on this whole journey of how can we do that? I could perform it in a room and we could film it and we could stream it live, but that comes with loads of complications. And basically streaming live performance is a nightmare unless you've got really amazing equipment and really solid connections, which we struggle with here in rural Wales. So that's a factor. And on the budget that we have. So then we decided to pre-record something. So we've kind of taken time and budget and got people on board with the expertise that can do that. But then there's a whole load of stuff that comes with that, because if you just film something that's supposed to be performed live and you just film it as you would perform it live, it often doesn't translate very well, and it can end up being really flat, and it can look a bit shit, and it can feel a bit shit. So we didn't want to do that. So we've opted for filming some of the sections of the live show on film and staging them in a way that we hope will work for film. So then that was a really exciting process to go on Thursday as a performer. But I also had a little bit of a meltdown at the weekend afterwards, because I was like, but that's not the show. This is something else. This is a film. This feels really different to perform, and it's staged differently, and this is not the project. And so my artistic being kind of went into like another sort of spiral of chaos, and all the monsters got out all their hats and all their drums, and like did a lot of banging and shouting, and it's been it's been chaos. And also, like, yeah, it's just, this is, we talk about this a lot in creative processes. Me and other creatives that I know, about, when you put your heart and soul into something, it's like your child, it's your creative child. It's what you're birthing into the world, and it becomes incredibly important. And it's also really important for it to not become too precious, and to remember that it is just a piece of work, and that it is just your art, and that it's not the end of the world, but it matters, and especially because of the content of this work and what it's about and what it means to me personally. There's so much of me in it, and I did have a weekend this weekend where I had to have a cry, and I got really angry with the world, and then I felt really sad, and then I was really panicked about whether we filmed the right things on Thursday, and whether I picked the right bits from the show, and whether I should have picked different bits, and whether my performances were good enough, because I haven't rehearsed them very much, because it's not ready yet, because we're not at that stage in the process yet. And so it's kind of a strange place to be, like recording things that are not finished, and it's been a lot. But I'm still smiling in between bouts of panic and anxiety and anger and sadness. They're all going on. And I just had a meeting with my creative producer and the creative director for the film, and the videographer and the editor, and they're amazing people, and I do trust and feel very confident that we're going to create something beautiful that we can share at this online event in a couple of weeks. So yeah, back in the room rehearsing tomorrow, carrying on with the show, because we're gonna do a live sharing of it for a very small number of people under the COVID regs on Friday, to give me personal feedback. So a couple of creative people are going to come into the room and watch that on Friday. So that's my next deadline, is to be ready for that on Friday. And yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, lots of love to everybody. Ciao for now.